Welcome back to the finger, everyone. It's a beautiful day out there. We're cracking on with this fireplace, assisted by the dog. You're a very good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. The tops of the fireplace are ready for the tiles that are going on the top.
Yes, but the tiles aren't ready, so that's my job for this morning. There's not many to do. Most of them are nice and clean. Just a bit of agua forte.
Yeah, we jet washed them, and most of them are pretty ready.
Yeah.
This side, these are ready for the doors. Of course, we haven't got the doors yet. I need to make them. So we better crack on. So as you can see, they're no ordinary doors. They're going to have arched tops, which makes it more complicated, of course. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure the height. I'm going to measure them over height, and because I'm going to need to cut them down. So I'm going to make that 800, and I'm going to make this one. It's slightly smaller, 650. So the first job is to cut the boards, work out how many I need width-wise, and then get them cut to length.
So as you've seen, they've cleaned up really well so far just with the jet wash, but they're just little bits of, if you can see that, little bits of mortar still left on there. I'm going to try with a wire brush first of all, and then if not, I've got good old agua forte which gets everything off. So, carry on.
So this is the timber I'm going to be using. It's tongue and groove, it's maritime pine. The width for the doors I want is 650 millimeters, which are both identical, which is always part of the plan. We made it like that. I've got a slight hitch possibly here. The width of the width of the boards is 130, 125-ish millimeters. I've got 130 would give me exactly 5 boards per door, but I'm going to need to take the groove off. This is tongue and groove wood, by the way, which will make the outside ones slightly smaller. The knot just falling out there. We don't mind when the knots fall out because we can glue them back in. It's when they come with packs with lots of knots missing. So I'm going to have a workout to see, because if I do take that off, that's another 10 mil off that side, which will bring my door down and my gap will be too big. So I need to space the sides. So I've got a decent board on the outside and not just a dead thin strip, and a decent gap. So I'm going to rework that out, and we might have to use 6 boards at this rate, I think, and 2 of them will be at half a board width. So I'll do a bit of calculating and then we'll do a bit of cutting. Right, so I'm on to plan B already. I've just remeasured them. What I want to do, I'm going to make them slightly smaller. I wanted to give myself a bit of excess to make it easier to cut the arch out of them, but that would waste an absolute ton of wood. So I've brought them both down by 50 millimeters, about 2 inches. Still give me enough left to cut my arch out of, and which means I'll get 2 for one door and 1 for the other door out of each piece. There's going to be a bit of wastage, obviously you can't help it on other things. I'm also going to need the strips for the width as well, so I'm going to incorporate those. They're going to be 650, which is the width of each door, and so I'm going to incorporate those as well into my measurement. So just get cutting. Right, so I've actually changed my mind slightly. I'm thinking about things. What I'm going to do, obviously, I've got to take this groove off the end of this one. So because I'm going to use these what's coming off these for my ledges, I think I want, because my ledges are going to be slightly shorter than the width of the door, I want to do that because I want to leave a gap here so I can put a stop on the inside of the frame, and the hinges are really thin, so I want my ledges to come right up to the end so I can go right through my ledges with the hinges. So I'm going to rip this tongue off. Hell, this makes sense. I'm sure it will do in a bit. I'm going to rip this off with a little bit extra, that I'll be able to use this bit and the other bits as a stop for the inside of the frame, and then cut this one accordingly to give me exact 650 width that I want. Let's do it. Right, so with those cut, I can now cut my end one for the width that I want. I've got 615 there, so it wants to be 35, allowing for the groove of course as well. So I'm just going to set my saw to 35 millimeters, and in fact I'm going to do it to 36 millimeters just to make sure. And then, that will give me a little bit to play with if necessary. These will now do for my ledges. This one obviously needs cutting down a little bit. Again, that space at the end, I've got plenty there to fix that board to, and that'll leave me the gap that I can then fix a stop to, because the frame's not quite thick enough to put a stop where that meets it as well, if that makes any sense. It'll all be revealed. So I'm going to rip these down now. I'm going to take the tongue off this and then just literally cut this in half. That should give me enough for a ledge. There we go, all the bits are cut. These are ready to be glued together, nailed and glued together. 2 stops there that'll do for me stops. They'll fit nicely in there, so that's cool. So yeah, next job, nail and glue them, I think. And that's the waste I've got. Pretty good that, a few thin spindly sticks. They'll do for starting a fire. See how Sharon's getting on. How are you getting on?
I've got one, well, this one I'm doing and one more to do. A lot of the blue has come off, but not all of it. But you know what, when they're wet, which they will look wet when they're oiled, it looks quite nice. It's quite nice to have a bit of a different colour, so I'm not going to worry about it. At the end of the day, they're reclaimed tiles and they're not going to be perfect, so they've all had a good scrub, and that's good enough for me.
So all I need to do now is turn them over, because this is the front, line them all up, and glue and nail these on. Normally if I make an external doors or big doors, I'll put a bead of glue down the tongue, but because these are little and inside, I'm not too fussy. They're going to hold. It's not like they're going to be getting a lot of abuse or anything. So I'll just line up the bottoms with the edge of my bench, get them perfectly square. To make sure they're square, you just measure across the corners. 885. Perfect. The important thing to do at the moment is to allow for my arch, because obviously quite a bit's going to come off the top. So I'm just going to measure to the highest point of the arch, mark that, and then measure down to space these from there. So I'll get that done, get the compressor fired up, stick them together. There we go, 2 doors finished, ready for arching next, but I'm going to let them dry thoroughly and solidly before we start cutting at them. So yeah, happy days. Well, these tiles have come out absolutely fabulous this morning. They're all dry, they're ready to go in. So let's get these doors done and then we can get on the top. Right, so the time has come. What I've done, I've just packed up under the door. Sharon's going to hold it for me. I'm going to open that door at the back there, crawl in through the cupboard and mark this arch. I tried to work out if I could mark it using one of the hoops, but it's not quite 100%, so I'm just going to do it this way. So, wish me luck. There's actually quite a bit of room in this little cupboard. I've actually put my brace on a fraction too high. Stupid boy. Not a problem. So, see if we can get a mark on it. This is not easy. Rid of them. Of course, it's got to be marked exact. Let's try that. So here goes nothing. I'm just going to gently try and follow it with the jigsaw. Nice and steady. Well, it sort of looks something like. Go and try it. Right, so there we go. Not a bad first attempt actually. The important thing was getting this to line up at the sides there. The top's slightly different, so we'll have a different problem with that. Obviously this front needs pointing up as well, but generally I'm pretty happy with that. It's going to work well. So repeat on the above one. There we go, that's number 2 done. Next, coat of oil I think, and then sort some hinges out. I found some really old hinges that have been soaking in the old automatic transmission fluid and acetone formula to clean them up, so we're going to have a look at them. Yeah, so happy days. These are the hinges. Oh, they're moving. They were all seized up solid. They've been soaking for quite a while. I need a normal rag to put them on. Not what they'll do. Brill. Come back to that one. That was a bit bent, but we can straighten it. Excellent. Right, just get this one sorted out. This one's still not, doesn't seem to move, but it will do in a minute. Get an implement to free it off with. And there we go. Get the screws out of it now. So I'll get that bent one straightened and get them cleaned up and see what we've got.
Right, get these oiled. They look fab, don't they? I'm sure they will when they're all oiled, and hinges on and handles. I think we've got some handles from something else that we didn't use in the end, so we don't have to buy any handles, which is always good.
So there we go, there's the first coat. They're still very light, but they will darken up. Here's one from before my life. You can see the difference in colour as they go over time. It's a spare shutter we acquired. we've got the handles. They used to be on the back door. I made these ages ago, so these are going to be repurposed again, back on there. So I'm going to get the hinges on, and get them in place. I think I'm going to use 5mm diameter screws to fix these, so I'm going to pilot them first with a 3.5mm bit, so we don't split our wood. That would be a disaster. Just going to put the hinges on and just mark the holes first. That one. Get them in exactly the right place. I want them. Excellent. Send that in. Take it off hammer. Smashing. There we go, 2 doors with hinges and handles. Let's go swing them. Right, so the moment of truth. We've got my spacer back underneath at the bottom. What we want to do is make sure that we've got an even gap all the way around the door, so it looks right. I've not put the stops on yet, that's why it's going back. Pretty nice. That's pretty good. I think might need some more packers just to pack in these. I'm just going to hold that one there. I'm going to pilot this. I'm going to get one screw in the top, and then we can jiggle about with the bottom in a second. A bit further actually. Good job I'm a contortionist. There's that one. Excellent. Right, I'll get this one done. And look at that, life's pretty nice actually. That good. Right, so I've just got one screw in each one. I'm going to take the packer out. And then, yeah, that's a nice gap at the bottom, nice gap at that side. Make sure it opens. It's a big door. Everything's in the way, of course. Wonderful. Right, get the other one on. Magic, there we go. That one works as well. Super. All I need to do now is just put the stops on, just to stop them going forward. I'm going to put some magnet catches on, just to click them shut, and yeah, that'll be done. Happy days. How does it look? These are the stops. simply just to stop the door coming into in. I've got the door wedged exactly where I want it to close, so I'm just going to stick a bit of glue on it, and hopefully it'll behave. It doesn't matter which way. Then when these are in, we can get these oiled just to bead the glue, because it's not very thick, strong wood, just to help it out. There we go. The bottom one, of course, is going to be more fun. It's a much smaller hole. There we go. And then get a couple of screws in it without moving it. Smashing. Just going to go and check it quickly first. That's it, perfect. Right, get the bottom one done.
So, cupboard doors are finished. They look great, I think so anyway. We've been having a bit of a discussion over lunch because we were going to have the television on this side. I don't know why, but that's where we thought it'd go. And now it seems a shame to obscure this lovely door, so we've changed our mind, as we do, you know that, and the television's going to go over here now. It might look a little bit wonky because this is obviously not finished yet, and that is the next job for the next video, folks. Get these terracotta tiles on here, and then this will be finished. So tune in next time. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all our subscribers, all our Patreons, everyone that's bought us a coffee. We'll see you next time.